Okay, so I'm going to worldometers info, right? And if you scroll down, here's some text up here, and you can sort. It's probably a good idea to sort by country, just because when we pull in a shapefile of the world boundaries, country boundaries and stuff, it's going to be probably alphabetized anyway. So if you click on country and click on it again, probably, and it'll reverse sort it. Anyway, I'll sort it ascending, I guess. And then I'll start at that left hashtag. So that's the ranking, well, by alphabetization or whatever. So click and drag to the right and down, and not too fast, but get to the end of the table, and don't include all that total stuff. We could certainly do that ourselves. So highlighting that, and a Control-C, or you can do a right click and copy, right? But Control-C is usually an easier way. And then I can open up Excel and paste, right? Control-V, or even better, maybe even better, is a right click, and you can go right to match destination. And so all those hyperlinks and stuff will get wiped out, and it'll just be the text. And then, like we said before, we can double click in between columns to stretch to fit the data. I'm not gonna spend too much time doing that, but there you go. So this is almost ready. Go ahead.
Well, little bit fast. I'm still trying to copy and paste. My thing's not scrolling right here.
Okay. Yeah, it takes a minute to do that. But yeah, basically just highlighting that text, copying and pasting it into Excel. And because it's a table, it sees it as different cells, and that's the key really to it. So I'm not ready yet to like put it into mapping form. It needs to be the column headers. I actually have 2 column headers here, and going back, it says country other, and it's actually using 2 cells for that. So I think I want to wipe out. Well, see how total cases and new cases, I got to kind of combine those. So maybe I'm just going to retype in and take out the funky characters like that comma out of country. Instead of total, I might just abbreviate this, right? So, and just put it all in one. So that makes it not a bad. So this is going to be new cases.
And you opened Excel, you said?
Yeah. So now I'm just cleaning up the header row, and then I'm going to delete that second row once I get everything typed in. So now I have TOT cases, or for total cases. I have new cases. I have TOT deaths and new deaths. So I'm going to try to keep my columns nice and clean. Total recovered. Maybe I'll just say recovered. So maybe I can just drag that up here. Yeah, recovered.
And did you say that when you pasted, you kept source formatting, or did match destination?
Match destination, which is just text. If you keep the source right from the web page, then you're going to get all those hyperlinks and stuff.
Oh, it didn't work. Dang it.
What browser are you using? That might change too. How?
Just the one on the lab computer, Internet Explorer, I guess.
Oh, try using Chrome. Internet Explorer kind of sucks.
All right, give me a minute here. Start all over.
Okay. Yeah, so here's cases per million. So I might say
so mine, when I put it in is or when I copied it to my Excel, it said that it was a different size than the Excel, which I don't know what that meant, and it asked me if I wanted to copy it anyway.
okay. Yeah.
Yours, but
Probably, do you have more than one cell highlighted? You know how you can have a cell highlighted like that, like a range? If you try to paste within that, it might say that. But if it's just one cell, it may just go ahead and click OK if you just had one cell. If not, just hit escape and then just select the A1 cell and then try it again. See if that works.
Ah, there we go. Okay. It looked like it pasted, but I got a whole bunch of like hashtags and it's real clumped together. So I think I'm to the step right before where you're at now.
Yeah. So
Where I
to get
split
rid
it?
of those hashtags, just stretch out the stretch out the field wider so the hashtags go away and you can see the numbers, right? So it'll look like this if it's kind of squished. Or you can double click between the columns. Sorry, go ahead.
I was asking if there's a quick way to stretch them. I see the double click. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we just delete the second column altogether?
Yeah, so I'm going to right click on, once I clean up, I use that second column to type in to make the first column like GIS-able, or so I can put it into the GIS. And so now I'm going to right click on the second column and delete. And that actually just takes it out, shifts all the data upwards one. And I think I'm ready now. Keep in mind, you know, just looking through this, I have a lot of data that doesn't have any numbers, right? So that's okay. We'll have some null values here, but whatever. We'll have to look at dealing with that. Okay, at this point, I think I'm ready, so I can save. We'll give you time to do that for sure. I'm gonna save it somewhere nice. I think I have my chapter 4. I'll just put it in my chapter 4 folder here. And just as an Excel workbook, and I got to name it something. So this is going to be coronavirus. How about CV 19 data? Now this changes every day. I mean, they update this every day, so I might throw in the date here, but I don't want any funky characters either. So I don't know, what is today's date? 9/27. So maybe 9_28, 29. Wow. Okay. So maybe I'll throw the date in there. So if I want to change that, there we go. Okay. I think I can use this now in my map. So I'm going to shut this down. Sheet 1. Go to ArcGIS. Now I got to pull in like country data. I don't think we've done that yet. I don't think we have any like a country layer to work with yet, which we do need. So back to the internet. And what? World boundaries shapefile. That's an easy way to make it. Did I spell boundaries wrong? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, hub at ArcGIS. That's probably an easy one to get to and download. So. And I can go right to, I'm pretty sure countries WGS 84 sounds good. So go right to download and shapefile. And I'll put it right in my chapter 4 folder. Well, I probably don't want to name it that. Well, that's okay because that's just a zip file. So Probably won't take very long. Show it in the folder. Extract it here. Okay, so here's my world boundaries shape file. So now I can go back to, hopefully you guys can see that. Did you, you're seeing my screen, I think so. Okay, so in my catalog window, I should be able to see it. Might have to, oh, there it is. See what it looks like. Okay, this is, you know, as far as projection goes, this isn't very good. Makes Antarctica look like massive and stuff. So it'll be fun to play with the different, you know, if I look at the coordinate system of the data, source there. It's just the WGS. It's basically unprojected, right? It has no projection. It's just a GCS, right? It's just a latitude, longitude, nothing. It's just flat across, right? So let's look at, now I'm going to change the coordinate system of my map, similar to what we did before, but this time I won't have to change much, right? I can just go to coordinate systems and projected. We do want to project this, and yeah, I don't want, you know, continental. I mean, none of this is going to work so well. Oh, there's a world one, right? And then there's a world sphere based. Well, we'll just go with world and look at some of these different, and there's a whole slew of them, right? So there's quite a few. The Robinson one is probably one of the more common ones. What are the Malvide, the Miller, the Mercators, and this is more like a Mercator that you see anyway. So let's look at, let's try the Robinson, see what we get. So that's kind of a typical one. That may be the one that you see in the classroom, in the lab. That's very similar to that. So yeah, we can stick with that. This looks pretty naturally kind of a common one that you see. Play with a couple other ones if you want. I like, well, there's a bunch of them. What was I thinking? They're good makes a few of them, and they make atlases, so those are pretty interesting. Let's take a look at let's look and see what that one does. You can pick any one of these that you want, really, if you like it. Yeah, these sinusoidal ones try to fit the land to the projections better. And there's one for land, one for water. I kind of like this one. I'm going to keep it. So I'm just going to use this for my map. It'll be a nice, it's a good one for printing on a roll of paper, but we can put it on a good other paper. So the next thing I want to do is look at the attribute table and see if there's, you know, I want to be able to join my table in my Excel sheet to this data, right? So let's open up the attribute table, dock it up here. Oops. Dock it, thank you. Okay. Yeah, this is very simple. It has the country name, right? So I'm just going to use country name, and let's add our table here. I don't know if I can add this to the map or not. Let's take a look at this sheet and see what it says. So I have country. So I have country and country name to join to it, and it looks like it's fine. So let's just try to join it. Typically, I would want to import both of these into my geodatabase, but let's just take a quick look at what we can get with just with the native data. So back to the map. I'm going to select my layer and go to data and joins. So I'm going to try to join this table to the data to expand, basically that expands or appends that table with a join, right? It doesn't actually rewrite anything. It just makes a connection between the two tables, the tables of the boundaries with the table that we just made. So the input table is our, and the join field is country name, sheet 1, and country. So let's validate that and see what we get. Yeah, it's not done yet. It matched
Sorry,
100.
I'm not as fast. I'm not as fast as you. So
Awesome.
to get the country name, could we step back just a sec? I'm just one step behind you.
Okay.
So I've got all of my table in there. It's standalone table, and I need to do the country. So open up the attributes, like you said.
Yeah, and the only reason I did that is to look at what fields matched, right? So here's the boundaries, and it has what FID, shape, object ID, and country name. That's it, right? So that country name is the only thing that's going to really help me in this in the table that we made, because we have country also, right? So whatever matches, it matched 177 of them, and there were 216 in this. So there are some that don't match, and it could be just because, you know, Antigua and Barbuda, could be Barbuda and Antigua, or maybe they're two different ones or something. Yeah, probably not. But so there, we'll look for those differences and where there's null values in like total cases, because I think every country had a total case, and we'll see. Well, now that they're joined. Well, anyway. That's the only reason I opened those tables. Getting back to your question.
Well, I must have done something wrong because my data didn't come in right.
Okay, so your sheet that you added to the to your map doesn't show this?
No, I must not have added the correct sheet.
Okay. Yeah. Well, was it a different Excel sheet or something?
No, I think I just screwed up when adding. I added the. I got a bunch of weird numbers from. Let me get back to it. From that countries thing, and I thought that was what text we'd done. So I don't think I actually have my spreadsheet connected to my folder here, and I'm having trouble finding it.
Oh, okay. We'll let you look for that and get back.
Because when I saved it, I think I just saved it to my desktop. So.
Oh, okay.
Should I just make a connection to that off of the desktop, you think?
You could, or you could just move it, right? In Windows, just use Windows to move it to the folder that you're using. I think that would be slightly easier, but either way. You could just open up a file explorer and go to your desktop and right click on the spreadsheet and cut. You choose cut and then go to your folder, your project folder, and just right click on it and paste. And that actually moves it. It takes it off of your desktop, because usually the desktop, it's a convenient place to throw stuff, but not for long because it clutters it up pretty fast.
Yeah, and you move so quick, and I'm so sloppy that it takes me a minute. Sorry.
That's all right. Usually when I'm trying to record a video, I just get real fast, so so it's easier to watch. But it's not so easy.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, no. It's okay. If you need to keep going, I'll get it.
That's okay. It's all right. We can clip out some values and stuff. But anyway, when you do get it in right to the map, I have the table that we just copied and made in the Excel sheet, and we have basically just those two things in the map, and we're trying to join them. So that's in the data ribbon, and go to joins and add join. And so the add join dialog box allows you to pick the input table, which is going to be your features, the actual boundary layer, right? And the field is the column, so that's country name. So that's country name. And then the sheet is our join table, sheet 1. Didn't bother renaming it, which I kind of tried to do that, but anyway. And then the field in that table is country, which is somewhere in here. Yeah, country, right? That column. So that should work. It's not going to join all of them. So I validated the join, and it joined 177 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And then I can go back to the layer when it's done, and I should see now I have all this data in here, right? Well, I'm going to try to sort the cases, right? So I could right click on cases and sort ascending. Not sure what that did. Let's try to open that table up again. I should be able to sort these. Let's try it again here. Nope. Okay, fine. We'll give it more time to refresh or something. But anyway, as I go through, there's a handful of nulls, and I'll just kind of scroll through them and take a look at why they're null, right? Like here's American Samoa. I would guess that the sheet is, it didn't join because maybe in the sheet, let me open the sheet up again, that it shows Samoa instead of American Samoa maybe. So what if I scroll down to, do I even have Samoa in here? Guess not. So apparently the worldometer data doesn't have Samoa. And another way to check, and I'm just kind of going through, and I could just do a Control F in the web page and look for Samoa. And there's no Samoa in the whole page. So nothing. So I guess that's not going to get any data. So that's how I go about it. So let's take a look. I think we can fix some, not all, of course. So Samoa is not going to have any data, but it's fairly small, and it's not going to be a big blight on the map or anything. So that should be fine. All right, so where am I? Oh, I want to go back to here and look for nulls in the cases, right? So that was my first one, American Samoa. Another null is Antarctica. I doubt Antarctica's listed in here, but maybe. Yeah. So we can skip that one. So Antarctica, no big deal. Bahamas, the. Okay, so maybe it's just Bahamas, or maybe it's the Bahamas in the sheet. So let's look. Do I have Bahamas here? Yeah, there's no the in it. So that's nice. I can just double click in here, take out the, enter. And see, now I can see the data immediately populate. So the join is kind of an active entity, or an active command, if you will, that joins as those. So if I change some of the data right now, I still will need to save this data as I change it. So we'll save the edits and we'll go on. So Belarus, I'm sure it's just, that's a typo. Yep. Solomon Islands, yeah, probably not in the map. So I'm going to go back to the worldometer here and just do a Control F. Yeah, Solomon, nope. So not worried about Solomon here. Beauvais Island. So most of these islands are probably not reporting the data, but are in the features, right? So they're in the world, but probably aren't reporting any kind of COVID cases or whatever. So I'll just double check though. Look for Bovet. Nothing. So that's okay. Just keep on going down the list. There's only like 40 of them. So Zaire, that should be in there. So let's just see. Maybe they renamed. Wasn't. Yeah, in that case, wasn't Zaire renamed? Isn't it called something else now? It's Congo, right? Now it's Congo, Democratic Republic of. Yeah, let's look for that one. Here's Congo, right? So in sheet 1, do I have Congo? No, I don't. But I probably have Zaire. Well, hold on. So in the layer, so now I got to keep straight. This is actually the layer in here, and I'm looking for, what was I looking for? Oh yeah, so Zaire and Congo are right next to each other, so probably just, that's all null. Oh, but I'm looking for Democratic Republic of Congo instead of just Congo. So let's see. Nope, I guess it's just Congo. Huh, that's interesting. So since I already have Congo in its data, I'll skip Zaire, I guess. So enough. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those islands aren't going to be in it, so I'm just going to skip over some of these smaller islands and stuff. The Mariana Islands. Maybe it's in there as Mariana, not Northern, so I'll just double check. Kind of afraid to sort them, so. Yeah, there's only North Macedonia, so that's as close as it gets. So yeah, we'll skip that one. So it's looking pretty good as far as the data that does match anyway. Central African Republic. That may have changed names. So what I'm thinking is this data, the layer data is old, and this worldometer data is pretty new. So there's some name changes that I have to look for. So what was that one? Central African Republic. Yeah, I've let's look for Central African. Was it named something else? This is what I'm looking for. Okay, well, I'll have to look in a little bit more. I don't think so. Doesn't sound like it from the different searches in here.
Actually, I just saw something that right before you closed it that said something about the name change.
Oh, really?
Yes. Near the end, yeah, I who renamed the country the Central African Empire.
Okay. Well, that doesn't help us much because it's still, instead of empire, it's republic. So,
Okay.
but well, that's actually, let's look in the sheet here and see if we see central anything. Doesn't look like it. So yeah, skip it. That's weird. Shouldn't have to skip it. What if we look for, here, I know. I'm gonna choose, it borders Chad, right? So from the map here, it's just south of Chad. So if I select Chad and go to the map, then what the heck is this? Central African Republic. Yeah, it's just not in, yeah, well, it's in this data set. It's just not in, the list. So maybe it's just not reporting data for all I know. So, okay. So I'll just go through the rest of the nulls. I don't have to show every one of them. Cape Verde, yeah. You can select it, I guess, or just look in the sheet for something near Cape Verde, Verde, Cabo Verde. I'm gonna change that. I think that's the same thing. Might be wrong. We're calling Cape Verde Cabo Verde. So Cook Islands. No Cook Islands. Jarvis Island. Most of those islands aren't going to make there, so I'm just going to skip them. Falkland, the Federated States of Micronesia. So maybe it's just Micronesia, so that's maybe an easy one. Or maybe not. It's weird. I would have expected that to be in there. Yeah, Baker Island, French, yeah, no, parts of the Gambia. I'm guessing it's just Gambia. Let's see. Yep. So some of them are easy. And the islands, Guam, what's the new name for Guam? Is that? Didn't Guam get a different name? This is a good geography lesson, right?
Sure.
History of Guam is part of Micronesia, so that's probably why it's not there. So that's enough of that. Okay, Gabon. That's so I'm just looking at total cases because maybe new cases are going to be null, but total cases should have some data. That's our best chance of seeing data in this list. Oops. Yeah. So or rank, because that's going to be, it's going to give every country it has data on anyway. So Guernsey, yeah. Let's just see if Guernsey's in here. Did I spell it right? Guernsey. Yeah, still. Okay. I would go through, okay, so let's just save what I have here. And we can always go back, but we can go forward as well. So looking at the data, now that we've joined those two together, we can go to, click on the layer and then go to appearance and symbology. And am I going to give a unique value to every one of these? Or I would rather graduated colors, right? So I'm going to base that on not the object ID, but total cases, let's just say. And this isn't a bad color scheme, right? A light yellow, or it's still a bright yellow to a dark red, which is, you know, something, but maybe a lighter pastelish kind of look to it. There's not a lot of those. Anyway.
Is there a way to get the certain color scheme that you just got with the red, yellow, and orange?
You can edit your own, actually.
Because my nephew says, very not good looking like yours.
Well, are you showing it by total cases?
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like this?
No, it has some kind of green, blue, purple, pink.
Oh, well, that's nice. Yeah, you don't want to use, I mean, this might be okay too, like a multicolor thing, but maybe.
I don't know if you noticed, but America is null.
Yeah, yeah, I did notice that. I'm not sure. I'm guessing it's going to be United States, comma the, or something like that, where I have to edit that. So, oh, here's a pretty.
My America isn't null.
Really?
Yeah.
Odd. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to go back to the normal color and the original color scheme. And yeah, let's look up United States or whatever. Well, I would just go through and fix the rest of these anyway. So Jersey, those, I'm sure they're not going to be in there.
Yeah, I turned it off.
Why isn't North Korea? Oh, they're probably not reporting. So South Korea should be.
What?
Korea's. Maybe it's just called Korea.
Yeah, this is mine. This is my teacher's.
And what else?
Got the red, orange, and yellow.
Yeah, it's just USA. So what's it called in here? United States. Guess we'll just name it USA. Okay, but this is the idea, and so it just takes a little bit of editing, right? So now I've changed it to USA, and I saved it, and it's not showing it, right? So what do you have to do? Refresh this, right? Do I refresh my map? Still not going to show it, is it?
Before we get into that, can I ask you how you got your... Oh, that might be it. For your symbology, you're not using unique values. You're using graduated colors.
Right.
Okay, that's why I was using unique values and I had so many different ones.
Well, yeah, every country potentially would have a very, would have a different value, and probably does. So yeah, you want to use graduated colors, which gives you a range of value to fit into a category. Basically, you're categorizing them by its range, right, of total cases. Now, this isn't really fair, and that's why we have a normalization. So that's, yeah, I got 2 minutes. So normalization, you can pick how it's going to be normalized, and luckily we have a population field. So basically it's going to be cases by population. So that's a percentage, really. So that gives me a fraction. And so now we can see which countries are having more cases per capita, right? That's usually the term they use. So there. So, and yeah, go ahead.
Are we going to use population as a normalization so we can get the United States in there or no?
I did change the name, so it did come in, and it's in there now. So yeah.
Can I see what you changed it to? Because I was busy trying to get my symbology fixed.
Yeah, it's USA. I just changed it to USA. I had to match what's in the sheet because I can't really edit what's in the sheet unless I go back to the Excel sheet and change it there and then re-add it. But it's just called USA. So.
And it's number 232. Okay, found it. USA.
Yeah. So good.
And how do I refresh it into here? I guess you could ask.
Yeah, that's a good question. It doesn't do it normally. So try just changing the field, right? So go back to object ID and then just pop it back to total cases. And then that should refresh it. I don't know a better way to do it really. I don't think there's a, yeah.
Okay, I got it looking. And my last question is, are we just going to leave that gap in the middle of Africa?
Well, I'm going to try not to, but let's see if I can click on that. I know the Central African Republic is not in there, and it's not reporting, and neither is North Korea, right? Is that North? No, somewhere up there, right? Where is it? Yeah, up in here. Is that North Korea? And South Korea. Neither of those have any reporting in there. I didn't find those, although I could look for Korea here. Oh, it's S period Korea. Yeah, thanks guys. Yeah. So I think I could change my South Korea to that. If I can find it. Might be under. It's not really alphabetized because I couldn't change it. Well, anyway, that's what you would do is just go through and look at the ones that didn't change or didn't join and just edit the name to match what's in the table, and then it should show up. So, okay, that's it for today. I'll try to I'll share this video. Right, let me stop recording here.